me so much, but I think I have an answer. You'll tell me if you have an answer too. You ready? You can email me, rabbipalacci@gmail.com. RABBI Palacci PALACCI@gmail.com. If you have a good answer, if you have a good answer, please let me know. You ready? Listen to the question. This was bothering me over Shabbat. So I'm coming home. Thank you. Scam is for this for me. Scam is what. So I'm coming home. I get home and I'm thinking about this question. When the Jews, the Bnei Israel gets to the sea, they start telling Moshe, like, what'd you do? You brought us here to die in the ocean? We could have died in Egypt. That's what they say, right? So my question is like this. They just saw the craziest makot, dam, svardeya, kinim, all these wild miracles that basically changed the face of the earth, changed nature, changed everything. So why are they scared now? They're like, what should we do? They don't think that God will make a crazy miracle for them and save them. He has been saving them the whole entire time till now. Correct? Yes or no? Makes sense? So he's been saving them the whole entire time till now. Every single makkah, think about it. Everybody had dam blood. The Jews were the only ones who didn't have blood. Every animal died except what? Except the Jewish people. Everybody, you understand what I'm trying to say? You get my point. Barad, when it came down, every single barad was exactly amod. You can have two Jews. You have one Jew and one Egyptian. They're walking together. They're walking literally the same time. All of a sudden, going out, the Egyptian gets whacked, and the Egyptian trying to hide from the barad. Boom, boom, boom. He hides behind the Jew. Boom, hits the Egyptian. You see that God's protecting them the whole entire time. You see it. Makat bechorot. There's so many. Exactly who's dying? The bechor of the Egyptians. I don't understand. You think that God's not going to save them now? Hear my question? Valid? Nah? Makes sense. So you want to hear my answer? You have an answer? If you have an answer, again, if you have an answer, email me the answer. If I like it, Bezrat Hashem, I mention your name on Torah anytime, I mention your name. This is so-and-so said this answer. But you hear the question. It's a solid question. Think about it. Up until now, they see God's hand for 10 makot. Every single makkah is greater than the next. And all of a sudden now they're saying, oh, you took us here to die? What are you talking about? You don't have faith in God right now? That God will make a miracle? I don't know what miracle. Just because you don't think what's going to happen, how can a miracle happen? It'll happen. There's many situations that happen in life where you'll see, all of a sudden you didn't know how it would turn out, and boom, you see, wow, how did that turn out? It's crazy. It's wild. Wow. It's a wild thing. Like sometimes you see zivug, shiduch. Did shiduch, when we did shiduch, right? How did it even happen? Like, what? I never thought of that. Boom. It's a wild thing. Things. So Bnei Israel at this point should know that God's been saving them up until now. You think that God's not going to save them now? Come on. So I think the answer is that a lot of times in life, a person forgets. Sometimes, a lot of times in life, a person goes into a different situation, and it's like he forgets how God took care of him over here, God took care of him there, God took care of him there. He just, it's automatically, you forget a little bit. Of course you know, but it's in the back brain. It's not in the tip of the brain. So therefore a person forgets, therefore he thinks, oh my goodness, what's going to happen now? I'll tell you like this. If a person's in business, any person that's in business, guaranteed, ask your fathers, ask anybody, ask any businessman, go ask them, did you have bumps in the road? Every businessman will say, you don't know. You don't know how many bumps. Amazon closed this account, and then they closed that, and then all of a sudden it opened, it did this, it did that. You know what God's doing? God's just showing you, I saved you so many times. What makes you think I won't save you again? I'll do it again. I'll save you again. But what? He wants you to have the emunah in Him in advance, to remember on the tip of your brain, if anything ever happens, I'll be there for you. I have a relative of mine, and he's in the 40s. He's a very big businessman, and he told me, one night he came to the shul, and he tells me, I'm not worried. I said, what do you mean, not worried about what? He says, one of my biggest accounts told me that he's looking to buy elsewhere. He said, I think I can get a cheaper rate. I'm going to buy somewhere else. And it's a big account. And he tells me, I'm not worried. and I feel so good. Says, what does that mean? He says, I've been in business for 20 years. I've seen where each time a buyer stopped buying from me, and I was nervous, I didn't know what to do. I said, Hashem, please help. I didn't know. And then Hashem sent another buyer, exact amount of money that I was losing in that account, another buyer came in that account. So even though right now I don't know what's going to happen, this is a big buyer, but guess what? I do know, I have faith in God. He saved me so many times that it's in the tip of my brain right now that somebody else is going to replace that buyer, and I don't mind. It's an amazing thing. You know Steve the barber? You know my barber Steve, right? So one time he has a customer that comes every like, I think it's twice a week. Is that crazy? I'm not joking. Like, those guys, they have to have their hair exact. You know what I'm talking about? There's one thing over there. Get me back to Steve the barber. Boom, boom. Yeah, exact. Get me exact. It's true, by the way. Some people don't like that. By the way, the Gemara says a king has to take he has to have a haircut every day. Melech biyofyo techazer anecha. It's Gemara in Masechet Ta'anit. It says a king has to take a haircut every day. Meaning he has to he look fresh. If he doesn't, he doesn't need. But if he needs, a Kohen Gadol once a week. It has to look fresh, right? So you see, there's a concept of looking fresh, right? Of course, kosher haircuts. But at the end of the day, he has this customer that comes to him and he bowls out. He drops down, here's a crazy tip, and he tells me, oh my God, he said, boom. One day he tells me, the guy came in and I was there, and he's telling Steve, this, that, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it anymore by you. I'm going to somebody else, and whatever, I'm sorry, and this, that. And he left. I said, Steve, how you feeling? I just lost a customer twice a week, guy, you know what I'm saying? Like a clockwork, what's going to be? He's like, I'll tell you, to be honest with you, I'm not nervous at all. So what do you mean, you lost a good customer? It is like $100 a week for just, cutting hair, pretty good, no? Like maybe $150 to go like this, come ahead. So he tells me, I'm not worried at all. I said, how you not worried? He said, because there's been so many times where customers bailed out on me. And I had a customer that would come weekly, twice a week, or bi-weekly, every other week. And I would see that somebody else just came in and replaced it. So I'm not worried at all. Hashem sent me him. Hashem sent me another one. So how was he able to overcome that? By knowing on the tip of his brain that God is always there no matter what situation. He's just testing you to see if you can have faith in him or not. That's all a test, by the way. Business, by the way, Chol says, why do you have to do, why does the person have to go? Hashem can put you man every single day. You'll have man in front of your door. You walk outside. He did it for 40 years. He can't do it now. He can do it. The Navi, they would hold the man. They had a package. They would hold the man. The Navi would hold the man. So for years, it would pass down for generations. If he died, the Navi, the next Navi held it. The next Navi. And if somebody came to him, what am I going to do, Parnasa? Say, come. He showed him the showcase. Open up. This is the man that they had for 40 years. You think God can't provide for you? Yeah, what do you want? One guy, how many kids do you have? 10 kids? 2 seconds. Tomorrow morning, you have everything you need. Hashem's not going to make you not eat. He has everything. So that's exactly the point. The point I'm trying to make is that the people of Bnei Yisrael, at the time of the Yam Suf, you're right, God saved them. But now, what's going to happen now? But it had to be that if the whole entire time it's in the tip of your brain that Hashem always is protecting me. Hashem, Adonai Tzilcha, Adonai Shomrecha. Hashem is your Shemirah. Hashem is your shadow. Hashem is always with you. So automatically you will never be afraid. And guess what? He wouldn't open up the Yam Suf until somebody did an action. They had to do a ma'aseh. What was the ma'aseh that they did? They walked in the ocean, not knowing what's going to be, not knowing if it's going to open, not knowing what's going to happen, and guess what? It split because of that. One of the reasons why it split was because Hashem saw their bitachon in him. You have bitachon in me? I'll open it for you. There was a story in the times of Yoel ben Putiel. Yoel ben Putiel. It's a Gemara in Masechet Tani, the first perek. I believe it's Dav Zayin. It says over there that in the times of Yoel ben Putiel, there was no rain. They didn't know what to do. There was no rain. They didn't know what to do. They had a little bit seeds left. You can survive on seeds. You can live on seeds. This is what they had left. They just had seeds. They just had seeds. So the Navi said, it started raining in Nisan, like April time. It started raining. And then Avi says, it started to rain. Everybody take your seeds and go plant it in the ground. So they look at the Yoel ben Putiel and says, what are you talking about? If we put it down in the ground, that's all we can eat. We're not going to have any food. This is what we're living on. What are you kidding me? Is it better to live an extra day or to die earlier by planting it in and not having any food to eat for who knows when? He says, even so, Hashem said to plant, don't have faith in God, plant. Doesn't have my nevuah from Hashem, go plant. So, okay, if this is what Hashem says, and in their mind, they don't know what's going to happen. If that tree doesn't grow, they're dead. They're dead. They dig in the ground, and they found food. Rashi says this, by the way. Rashi says, from animals. Some animals, they store food underneath the ground. You know what I'm talking about? They store food like animals, like rodents, things like that. They pick and they hide for they hide for the winter. They put underneath. So they found food that the rodents hid. Imagine. They found. I know it's disgusting. I know you like that, but I'm telling you what happened. But at the end of the day, guys, they washed it. They washed it, whatever it is. I mean, they didn't have water, so how'd they wash it? I mean, wash it with earth. I don't know what they did. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is they found food. That's the bottom line. And they survived. And it says that God made a miracle that what took 6 months to grow, they grew in 11 days. Gemara says it took 11 days. And you know the Korban Omer? The Omer is the Omer, Korban Omer. What's the Omer? We get the Omer with the ayin. The Omer, the Korban Omer. You know how you speak about the Omer? They take the Korban. They were able to have enough wheat and barley. They had enough to give the Korban Omer even from the barley. They had enough to give the Korban Omer from the crops. They had enough to give the Korban Omer. How did they do that? Hashem said, you had bitachon in me, you had trust in me. Because you had bitachon in me, I'm going to show you miracles. And that's the same thing what happened in Kriyat Yam Suf. Because you showed your faith in me, I'm going to show you miracles. So a lot of times in life, you have to know, if you just trust in Hashem so much, that will be able to change your a whole aspect in life. And I'll end off with this. There's a famous story about Nachum Ish Gamzu. You know the famous story of Nachum Ish Gamzu? Why they call him Nachum Ish Gamzu? Why they call him that? Because anytime something happened, he would say, Gamzu Letova. This is Gemara in Masechet Ta'anit, third perek. I gotta show off a little bit over here. Third perek, Kaf Aleph Amud Aleph on the bottom. Nachum Ish Gamzu story. This is what he says. So one time they were bringing a gift to the king, and they're so excited. They bring a gift to one of the kings to say, look how good the Jewish people are. We're giving you a gift. And on his way, he had to stay at like an inn, like a hotel. And in the hotel, they saw that this guy is walking in. The rabbi is walking in, but they said, "What do you need? You need to save the treasure? Okay, no problem. We'll put it in the safe over here. We'll put it for you. Don't worry." They didn't have back in the day safes in the room. Now you go, Albert, you have the safe in your room. You know, you put the Dakota. Back in the day, they didn't have like a luxurious hotel safe. Hey, you give it to the guy. No, don't worry. Trust me. We'll have the safe. So they take it, but these guys are not trustworthy. They open it up. They see all gold and silver and diamonds. They're giving it to the king. So what do? They took off all the gold and silver and diamonds, and they filled it up with what? Dirt. So now it feels heavy. So the next day, when Nachum Ish Gamzu is going, he says, I need my item to give it to the king. I need my item. So they give him the things. Oh, wow, this is Hadid. He's going to give the item, and the king opens up, the emperor opens up, and the emperor sees what? Dirt. These Jews, they want to embarrass me. This is the gift they're giving me. I'll kill him and I'll kill all the Jews. You know what he says right at the spot? Gamzu letova. This is good. Whatever God does is good. Imagine right now the emperor says, I'm killing you and all the Jews. He said Gamzu tova. It's brought down the second he said Gamzu letova. The second he said Gamzu tova, Hashem sent Eliyahu Hanavi in the room, dressed as one of the emperor's head guys, and said, my dear king, maybe this is the dirt that Abraham Avinu used when he was fighting Sodom. He took the dirt, and whatever he would throw, it turned into arrows. It turned, you know that. He took the dirt, you know what I'm talking about? I don't know. He took the dirt, and he would throw it at the enemy, and it would turn into arrows. Grenades, boom, boom. You guys think the grenades just came? Abraham Avinu's time. They took a piece of dirt, boom. The guy, he went flying. You know? The guy went flying. Boom. So they said maybe this is the dirt of what? Of Abraham Avinu. So what did they do? They went ahead. They said, let's test it out. There was one enemy that they couldn't beat. They took that treasure box of all dirt and they threw it at the enemies and they won. Oh, the Jews were so good. He came back and he says, wow, the emperor says, take all this gold and silver. We love the Jews. We're making good decrees for the Jews. You hear what's going on? Now, I believe this is Maharsha. There's a lot of Mefarshim explain. What schut did Nahomish Gamzu get that he was able to have such a miracle that Eliyahu comes down? He said, because in the hardest time, he said, Gamzu l'tovah. This is the best thing that could ever happen. Gamzu l'tovah. So if any time a person is in a situation, Gamzu l'tovah. Say Gamzu l'tovah. Will it change or not? I can't guarantee. But one thing, it's good. You saying that. I had my little daughter. She's like 9 years old. She was missing her shoe. You know what it is for a 9-year-old where everybody's leaving and she's missing her shoe. Daddy, I gave her my shoe. Daddy, I gave her my shoe. You get crazy, you know. I tell her, did you say Gamzu l'tovah? Did you say Gamzu l'tovah? Say this is good. Say it right now. But mean it. She said it. I said, but you didn't mean it. Say it like you mean it. Everything is good. Hashem, whatever you do is good. Gamzu l'tovah. Scream it. She says, Gamzu. Imagine a 9-year-old. Gamzu l'tovah. And I go look for your shoe. I was hoping Hashem will be on my side of that one. And guess what? She goes upstairs. Yeah, Daddy, I found my shoe. Say, yeah, you see Gamzu l'tovah? You see? Hashem will make miracles even at the time where you know what's going to happen. But if you would say the words, Gamzu l'tovah, this is good, Hashem will turn it around. It's be like, wow, this is it. This is it. And it's true. Try it. Try it. There's two things. Shaharukh says, Rabbi Akiva would say, Kol man da'avid rahmana letav avid. Whatever God does is good. There's no bad that comes from Hashem. There's no bad. There's no such thing as bad. You think it's bad, it's good. How can it be good? Kaparat avonot. You clean the whole entire time. You're 100% clean. So now what happens? You get a brand new car. Hadid, you got the Range Rover, crazy tinted windows with the chrome rims, everything. You park it. You're excited. Come back. You see the guy next to you. You know he was opening up the door. Boom, bach. He did it. You're flipping out. I just got the brand new car. What are you talking? And it's a true story that happened, by the way. One of the guys in the knees, he didn't get a Range. He got a Jeep Cherokee, but I wanted to make it fancy for you. So he got a Range. So it was a Jeep Cherokee. He says, Rabbi, I'm going crazy. I just got it. This, that from the shop. What's gonna be? Da, 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 da. I tell him, I have to know right now. Say Gamzu l'tovah, kaparat avonot. This is what it is. You didn't do any sin in your life. Hashem says, I'm gonna wipe it down here. You don't have to take it in the next world. Wipe it down here. I don't take it in the next world. They say the Hafetz Chaim's happy. One of the happiest. I heard this from Rabbi Yosef himself. I was in the shiur. I heard it from Rabbi Yosef's mouth himself. I was in the class, and he said one of the happiest days where Hafetz Chaim is flying high and so happy. And this, what was it? It was one day. One day he said Hafetz Chaim, he had an overcoat, and by accident he fell and he tripped over steps, and it was in front of a recess. And you know how the young kids, the 8th graders, whatever it was, they all laughing. He fell. He got up behind his. He's imagining a little bit, right? He was going on so happy. So what are you so happy about? What are you so happy about? Says, I know if any discomfort happens to a person in his life, he knows. Kaparat avonot. Kaparat avonot. To think. Kaparat avonot. That's what it is. There's nothing bad that can happen to you in your life ever. Nothing. Everything God does is good. There's no such thing as coming bad. So now you're going to tell me, Rabbi, but we say, in this world, we say, if something bad kiviyachol happens, we say, Baruch Dayan Ha'emet. God is the true judge. Right? However, in the future, when Mashiach comes, there's going to be one beracha of it. Baruch Hatov V'Hametiv. You'll see in the future, everything was the best. Nothing better that could happen ever like this happened. Nothing better. And if it would happen other ways, wow. Victor Miller says, He says that there was 3 times in his life. I'm sure he knows more. I'm saying, but he said, I heard 3 times in his life. He said, if this would have went through, my life would have turned around completely. Baruch Hashem, Hashem rejected this opportunity, and my whole life turned around completely because I got rejected for whatever was. Therefore, a person has to understand, and he has to feel, and has to know, and he has to feel in his being, everything is good. God does nothing bad. And this is a great lesson that we have to learn. Keep with us. Enjoy the shiur, review the shiur, send it out. Bezrat Hashem be zocheh for only good things, Say that Gamzu Tova, you'll see things changing. Why I say Gamzu Tova, boom. That's what happens.